What if the next middleweight champion isn't just a new face, but a risk to the division itself? August 16th, 2025 in Chicago, the Octagon will host a stunning showdown. Undefeated Khamzat Chimaev versus dominant champion Dricus Du Plessis. But this fight isn't just about who holds the belt. It might define whether the division moves forward or freezes in place.
Dana White confirms Khamzat Chimaev is next.
Dricus Khamzat is a pretty big fight that you guys can put on right now.
Yeah,
I would give DDP the advantage over Khamzat right now.
styles make fights, and you never seen Dricus fight. Good wrestler, and Khamzat's one of the best.
Khamzat just shoots from like 15 feet away and gets a hold of your
When I
legs.
look at the
And you got to think his endurance is probably going to be better at 85 than it was at 70 because of the cut for Khamzat. It's like 85 is really where he should have been all along.
But again, he gassed out against Usman. Usman went up to 85.
Usman's a world champion. You know, in the third round, Usman did what a world champion does. He rallied.
UFC 319 lights up the United Center in Chicago on August 16th, 2025, marking the promotion's return to the city for the first time since UFC 238 in 2019. Headlining the event, Dricus Du Plessis makes his third defense of the UFC Middleweight Championship, riding momentum from decisive wins over Israel Adesanya and Strickland. Standing across from him is the unstoppable Khamzat Chimaev, undefeated at 14-0 and making his first attempt at UFC Gold after a highlight reel first-round finish of Robert Whittaker. Pundits and sportsbooks opened the fight with Chimaev as the betting favorite, around -185 to -200, while Du Plessis debuted as an underdog at roughly +155 to +165. But this matchup represents more than just a title defense. It's a verdict on direction. If Chimaev claims the belt, he risks stalling middleweight momentum amid a history of fight withdrawals. If Du Plessis prevails, he reinforces veteran dominance and stability for the division's future. With Kyle Borralho confirmed as the official backup should either fighter pulled out, ensuring the show goes on, UFC 319 carries massive implications inside and beyond the octagon. Behind closed doors, Khamzat Chimaev has revamped his entire fight camp, shifting gears from raw power to marathon-level conditioning. A recent viral training video shows him isolated in a bunker-like camp, drilling takedowns and pin transitions non-stop against top-level partners. Fans are split. Some hail his discipline, others question whether this translates to peak performance on fight night. In parallel, Chimaev tapped famed conditioning coach Sam Calavita, who trained elite athletes like TJ Dillashaw to overhaul his gas tank. Latest clips showed him pushing relentless cycling and flow drills at the training lab in California, where even fresh sparring partners can't keep pace. Bernard Tavallaro, his BJJ coach, bragged on camera, "Khamzat's cardio's through the roof, people can't hang with him," adding that his pace, control, and endurance have visibly leapt to another level. Chimaev's wrestling, once his calling card, is now next level. He's training with elite Olympic grapplers like Abdul Rashid Sadulayev, fine-tuning top control and handcuff transitions that struck viewers as lights-out preparation footage. His team claims he's not just a first-round machine anymore, he's preparing to dominate deep into championship rounds. The shift suggests he's no longer limited by cardio concerns, but building stamina for 5-round wars, and that worries those who once counted on an early finish.
Du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. How do you feel about this fight, and where do you see this fight?
Remember, Khamzat never have a conditioning problem before this. After COVID, it really messed him up. And I was there. He was bleeding, like throwing up like blood. It was, and he was in Vegas, right? But as far as I know now, he's in Russia. He's in camp. He's focused. It's hard to bet against focused Khamzat, healthy Khamzat, but also this Du Plessis guy. Like the way he wins, I was like, how does this guy win? You know, like he's just so tough, so durable. He's a warrior, man. He really is a warrior.
MMA veteran and analyst Din Thomas delivered a stark warning if Khamzat Chimaev walks away from UFC 319 with the middleweight title. Interviewing with MMA Junkie on the Bonfire podcast, he said bluntly, "If Khamzat wins, it's a disaster." Thomas highlighted the heart of the concern. Khamzat's spotty fight record and withdrawals raise questions about his ability to defend the belt regularly, something indispensable for a division to thrive. "You can't tell me a part of you isn't just thinking, this fight might not actually happen." He added, "If he does show up and he does win, do we trust him to be able to fight again? Can he do it twice? Can he do it 3 times? Because we need movement. Champions have to fight." Thomas fears Khamzat's history of pullouts and inactivity could bring the middleweight division to a standstill, repeating a pattern where hype isn't matched by delivery. With Khamzat's lean schedule in recent years, Thomas believes the promotion risks stagnation if the promotion crowns a champion who can't reliably show up. Former middleweight champion Israel Adesanya delivered a vivid prediction that's turned heads. He calls the upcoming clash chaotic good versus chaotic evil, and sees 2 very different paths to victory for each fighter. According to Adesanya, if Khamzat Chimaev wins, it'll happen early in the first or second rounds. But if Du Plessis triumphs, he believes it will come late, as Du Plessis' unpredictable, high-pressure style dominates fatigue-worn tactics.
Adesanya made it clear, "I still think Dricus gets it. I think it's a late finish. Dricus is just chaotic. The idea is simple. Chimaev can come in like a freight train, but Du Plessis is a veteran roadblock. Survive the early storm, and his relentless grind and unpredictability start to break opponents. His metaphor sums it up: chaotic good versus chaotic evil. One fighter built to strike fast and early, the other built to outlast and disorient. Adesanya's view sharply divides the win scenarios: early submission for Chimaev or a late round stoppage for Du Plessis, depending on who imposes their chaos when it matters most. Champion Dricus Du Plessis has been handed a clear prescription from former middleweight king Michael Bisping: stop dancing. Fight Chimaev at his own game. Bisping warns that Chimaev's takedown rate is elite, averaging 4.31 per fight with perfect defense, even against wrestlers like Kamaru Usman. He argues that running or retreating plays directly into Chimaev's strengths, and instead, Du Plessis must kill the octagon with forward pressure, wrestling on top of Chimaev occasionally, using his own physicality against him. Meanwhile, former champion Luke Rockhold, who has trained with both men, offers the complementary half of the strategy. If DDP can survive the first 2 rounds, he starts to win. Rockhold sees Chimaev as a relentless bulldozer in round 1 and 2, but warns his pace fades without a finish. Du Plessis, in contrast, brings veteran endurance, awkward angles, and a bunker gas tank built for 5 rounds. Dragging the fight into the later frames could expose Chimaev's limitations and let Du Plessis shine. Together, Bisping and Rockhold paint a 2-part script: commit to the wrestling heat early, match resets, impose chaos, but survive, and then make the fight a war of attrition. If Du Plessis can mix judo-like level changes, surprise submissions, and unrelenting pressure, he may flip the script on early desperation and seize control late. Off to the side of the main event, another story is gathering heat. Former title challenger Paulo Costa, nicknamed the Eraser, rekindled his scorched earth rivalry with Khamzat Chimaev following his UFC 318 win. Costa railed publicly at Chimaev during a post-fight interview, calling him a coward and a cunt, revealing scenes so personal that he accused Chimaev of sending inappropriate DMs to his girlfriend. He vowed to confront him in a restaurant or parking lot if the fight never materialized inside the octagon. All this ignited speculation about flare-ups spilling beyond the cage. Costa says he might show up cage-side at UFC 319 just to call out Chimaev, whether or not Chimaev wins the title. Meanwhile, a separate but equally viral whisper surrounds a supposed $10,000 bet. The rumor suggests Du Plessis offered Chimaev cash for every takedown. In truth, it originated from an Instagram post mocking how Du Plessis' coach offered training partners $10,000 rand, more realistically, to take him down during drills, not a formal bet on the actual fight. This misinterpretation captivated fans, even prompting former fighter Arman Sarukian to comment that if such a wager existed, DDP would give all his money to Chimaev. Combined, the talk and takedown storyline add layers beyond the technical matchup. It turns UFC 319 into a chessboard of egos, rumors, and psychological loading, because sometimes the story behind the fight threads deeper than the saber rattling inside it. You'll walk away from UFC 319 with more than a winner. You'll see which of 2 narratives hold sway. Will the bomber beat the marathoner? Can Chimaev prove a full 5-round machine? Or will Du Plessis' resilience grind him down? And most critically, if Chimaev takes gold, can he continue cresting the wave? Or will his inactivity leave the division stranded? 18th August answers more than just who holds the belt. It reveals where middleweight MMA is heading.